The CEO's ex-wife is a famous doctor.
Divorce.
I want a divorce. I am now the CEO of the Thompson Group of Companies, the master of the Thompsons. My father can no longer control me. I'm done with your selfishness.
Evan Thompson, her husband, towered over her as he yelled.
I thought I knew you. I thought you would change, but I was wrong to think that you deserved a chance.
Evan, please. Chantelle's words broke in and out. This wasn't the first time her husband had brought up divorce in the past few months, but now he had the divorce papers in his hand. Fear crept into Chantelle's heart, knowing how serious he was this time. She reasoned. I thought you were cheating on me, so I did what every married woman would do and confronted a mistress whom you have been housing in a luxury apartment.
I was only helping her.
Evan insisted.
She isn't a mistress. Why are you so insecure? Nicole has no one. I brought her here to Rose Hills, and she is my responsibility. 2 years ago, Nicole quit her job in Lockwood to be with me. She has no one, do you hear me? No one. You and father ensured she could not get a decent job.
Evan shot back. With a frown, Shantelle said back, She could have gotten a decent job if she stayed away from Rose Hills.
And with what? No money in a new town without anyone she knows?
Evan retorted. Then she could go back to Lockwood. Shantelle tried to reason, but he cut her off again.
That's not the point, Shantelle. Haven't you realized it? I do not like to be dictated.
Evan said. He pointed at her and described.
You think you can control my life? Who do I want to be acquainted with? That's never going to happen, Shantelle. Never! I only permitted this marriage because of my father, because he threatened me with my inheritance, my birthright.
Evan added.
You realized how unfair that was for me? And what if I cheated? What would it matter to you? You forced yourself into this marriage, conspired with my father to trap me in this situation. You knew that I had my eye on Nicole, but did that matter to you? No, you had to squeeze yourself into my life.
Evan shot back, his voice strengthening. Forced myself into his life? Shantelle silently asked. We have known each other longer. Shantelle and Evan had been married for 2 years. Their parents were close friends and had always said that she and Evan were bound to get married. Evan was the gentle older brother she looked up to when they were young. He treated her kindly and even blushed at her claims of marrying him. She was 5 years younger than Evan, so her 13-year-old self did not hold back in expressing her love for him back then. Sadly, the time came when Evan had to leave Rose Hills City for his college and master's degree. Evan only visited Rose Hills during holidays, since he was often busy taking 2 majors in college and managing an offshore branch near Lockwood City. When Evan fully returned to Rose Hills, he was already 25 years old. Ready to take on more responsibility in his father's company, he was mature, more brilliant, taller, better built, and absolutely good-looking. However, when he came back, he brought someone with him, a friend whom he introduced as a potential girlfriend, Nicole Lively. Shantelle never saw the signs. Whenever Evan visited Rose Hills, they chatted like old times. She was always very transparent about her attraction towards him, yet he never shut her down. Imagine her surprise and dismay when he returned with a woman he was casually dating at that time. The oddest part was how Nicole Lively looked somewhat similar to her. Nicole had long blonde hair, amber-colored eyes, and the same nose. If not for Chantelle's blue orbs, more prominent jawline, and tall figure, they were almost the same. It wasn't just Shantelle who was disappointed when Evan brought home a girl. His father, Evan Thompson, was so furious that he tried to push Nicole away. He paid her off to leave the city, but she never took the bait. After some time, Evan's father forced him to marry Shantelle. He would have been disowned if he hadn't. It was Eric's way of declaring that Nicole Lively had no place in their family. Yes, Shantelle was selfish. The thought of Evan being with another woman made her incredibly resentful. So when Evan's father insisted on their marriage, she willingly agreed. Shantelle was only 20 when she married Evan, still studying biochemistry at a local university that her father co-founded, but that did not stop her from being with the man she loved. She thought this was her chance. Eventually, he would love her. She loved Evan so much and would do anything for him, to be with him, including working with Evan Thompson to keep Nicole Lively away. Eric and Shantelle tried everything. With her own family's influence, they banned Nicole from entering the city. For over a year, Nicole was out of the picture. However, Shantelle had to admit the woman had her ways. Nicole found her way back to Rose Hills with Evan's help.
Now that I hold the power and my father can no longer run the company, I can finally make this decision with no one to threaten me.
Evan coldly said.
I want you out of my life, Shantelle.
But Evan, I love you, she admitted, water welled in her eyes this time. I did everything for you to love me. Since I was young, you knew I have always loved you. She kneeled in front of Evan and wrapped her arms around his knees. She begged, Please don't leave me. I love you so much.
But I don't love you. I never did.
Evan forced his frame away from her. He then slammed the papers against the living room table. With how strongly he struck the table, Shantelle shuddered, feeling chills down her spine. For seconds, she remained silent, gawking at the document. This is it. It has come to this, despite everything I had done to earn his love, Shantelle said to herself. Her breathing became labored as tears finally rolled down her face. Shantelle felt utterly defeated. Her mouth parted, yet no words left her lips. Before she could respond, Evan groaned, saying,
You're unbelievable. What happened to the Shantelle I used to know?
What does he mean? I am still the same Shantelle, except I tried to fight for what I thought was right for me. Him, his love. She pondered deeply.
Fuck!
He clenched his jaws before saying,
I'm leaving. I have better things to do than to deal with you.
Pointing to the divorce agreement, he said,
I'll give you 1 week. 1 week to sign that document.
He stood up and put on his coat. As he did, Shantelle asked, Where? She gulped. Where are you going?
None of your business.
He took a few steps forward and then purposely said,
Maybe I'll stay at Nicole's apartment. Anywhere but here.
The next thing Shantelle heard was the loud banging of their double doors.